Welcome to Focus Out and About, the programme where we talk to people about a variety of topics. This episode is part 4 of a 4-part series on Butser Ancient Farm, an archaeological research site. We spoke to Darren Hamilton, who's been building a Saxon Longhouse, and first asked him how the project started.
Well, I was contacted about 10 months ago, back in December, by Butser Ancient Farm, if I would consider kind of designing and reconstructing a Anglo-Saxon longhouse based on archaeology fieldwork from Church Down, about a mile from the site. We felled the oaks in February. It's about 25 80 to 100 year old oaks as part of the coppice restoration. So that was done in the dormant period when the sap was down in February. My colleague and I spent 3 weeks hand converting most of the timbers, and that was in March. And then we transported the timber from bare copse to site on the 1st of June. So it's taken thus far to get to this stage. So 1st of June we started actually framing up out on the grass there. We're pretty much, I reckon we're 98% finished on the actual kind of structure. So Monday, 28th, the thatcher's coming to start thatching. So we're looking to have it completed with the thatch by the end of early November. And then we've got a door, wall of walls, got to make doors. So the whole complete thing probably end of November. All of the timber within the build is all sourced from no more than a 12-mile diameter. The oak is from bare copse from a coppice restoration 6 miles away in Soberton down the Meon Valley. Chestnut is from Hillbrow, just north of Petersfield, from a chestnut wood. All the hazel for the wattle work and the flecking in the roof, all of the hazel is from Tegley's Copse, Chidden, which is just over the hill about 4 miles away. So it's really good to have sourced all the timber locally, low carbon footprint build, I think. Very satisfying, yeah, very satisfying feeling to have actually gone into a wood, seen some trees, and then to think those trees have become this beautiful building. Yeah, it's very satisfying. I've done medieval framing before, but I've never done any Anglo-Saxon carpentry. We did a bit of research. Got Dr. Damien Goodburn involved from London, who is a specialist on timbers and buildings from the Anglo-Saxon period. So he came in and gave us a few pointers, and from that information I designed the frame based on very little archaeological evidence from that period. So all we had to go on was the footprint from the archaeology from Church Down, Chiltern, just the ghost post holes. So we had the footprint, a building about 38 foot long, 22 foot wide. So from that kind of information we came up with the frame design, and all of the main oak, the main frame, was converted with that side axe. No saws were used for the conversion. That is in the archaeology. In fact, I believe that during the whole Anglo-Saxon period there's very little reference to the use of saws. Everything was cut with axe, all the joints were cut with axes, all the timbers were converted from the round into the square, box-hearted with axes. It's been quite a steep learning curve. As I say, my background is medieval framing, and based on the little knowledge, I think it's worked really well using tusk tenons, lap dovetail joints, lots of overlap with traditional shipwriting. All the joints are fastened with trunnels and wedged. And the other challenge was thinking about how they would have done it in the day. I gave this a lot of thought, and I decided that I thought they would have prefabricated it on the ground because of the sheer size of the timbers. I mean, these tie beams are 22, they're about 11 by 9 and getting on well over, probably somewhere between 1.25 tonnes. So I think they'd have done as much of the kind of jointing on the ground using the Saxons had lines, they had basic levels, they could have easily done that, and that's what we've done. And we tried to be as authentic as we can. As I say, everything's been converted by hand, though the trees were felled with chainsaws. but I think the finished project looks really authentic, and I think it looks Saxon. In the Anglo-Saxon period, people that built houses were called tree wrights. That's the Anglo-Saxon word for somebody who builds buildings out of wood. A bit like a shipwright builds boats out of wood. But I think it's in the late 11th century that the word tree wright was superseded with the word carpenter, which is a French word. So yeah, that's what I title myself as here, tree wright.